This is Sam Nicholson, George Rhodes, Task 1, Unit 15, P2 and M1. Right lads, describe and explain health and safety considerations associated with exercise programmes and sessions. Off we go, Sam. First one.
Health and safety consideration is a risk assessment. You need it, it's a document to assess all the risks and hazards and come to an overall conclusion about how likely it's going to happen, how much you're going to injure someone. By having a risk assessment, you know everything that could go wrong, and you have a contingency plan. You can then make a contingency plan out of that to make sure everything goes right.
Yep.
A first aid kit. A first aid kit is essential to have in a gym for in case any accidents occur. The first kit must be checked regularly for any damaged or expired items. The items in the first aid kit are in use to reduce the effect of an injury that has occurred to a client.
Right, good. Sam?
A fire alarm. You need a fire alarm to alert people there's a fire in the building.
Yep.
By having a fire alarm in the building, it'll alert people. Just say that. If the fire alarm does go off and there's people who work there can go to a place outside that they should have a pre-discussed meal point. They should only go in when the building's been checked that there's no more fires.
Right.
An induction to gym for new clients. All new members are required to have an induction so they are able to use the equipment safely. During the induction it is important to show clients correct techniques and how to use the equipment properly. By doing this it will prevent injuries that could occur when training.
Correct storage equipment, so you need space for everywhere to go, otherwise equipment will be left out on the floor, could cause tripping hazards. If there's a correct place for it all, it could get fined, make it more convenient for the clients in the gym.
Good.
Park queue. It's a good way of finding out how ready a person is for physical activity. By doing a park queue, you can adjust a person's workout depending on how they answer the questionnaire, depending on their age, health status or any other problems with their well-being. And it can affect how their intensity of the workout.
What does the PARQ stand for, George?
Physical activity readiness questionnaire.
Good. Sam? Is that all of them? Right, so which three have you chosen, Sam, again?
Risk assessments, fire alarm and correct storage equipment.
Right, so on a risk assessment, give me two things so say you're going around the gym in Keithway, give us two things that you might be looking out for to make sure you've done an effective risk assessment.
Making sure that you've got what hazard it is, like dropping a weight or something like that. Having a probability that's going to happen. And then just putting them together and coming to an overall conclusion about how likely it is to happen, what damage it's going to cause.
Right, so think of some risks that might happen in the gym just when there's nobody in there.
Equipment falling over.
Right.
Unstable ground sort of stuff. Treadmills not being switched off, so there's no one in the room. There's someone in the room.
And then what about stuff on the floor maybe?
Tripping hazards like weights, dumbbells on the floor, you trip over them. Get your fingers trapped in between the weights.
Right, okay. Which other one did you have? Fire alarm?
Fire alarm and storage equipment.
So how would you store the dumbbells and the free weights?
Dumbbells on a rack, free weights on a different rack, but so that way they have a place to go.
Right, and then what about, say you've got skipping ropes and medicine balls out? Where would you put them?
You can put them on the wall, so they're not on the floor. Or get your feet tangled in.
Right, good. Right, George, which three did you pick?
First aid kit, induction to gym, and park queue.
Right, so first aid kit. What sort of stuff might be in a first aid kit?
A thermometer, safety pins, first aid manual, scissors, ice pack, tweezers, and a list of emergency phone numbers.
And then what if somebody cut themselves, say they cut themselves on the freeway, what might have to be in there?
Plasters and bandages.
Right, good. Which one, induction?
Yeah.
So what would you do with the client in an induction?
Show them how to lift weights and how to use the machines properly, like how to get a treadmill on and how you've got to tie yourself on with the safety clip.
Clip yourself on, yeah, good. Right, and then which of those six lads do you think is the most important?
Risk assessment.
Right, why is that?
So it covers literally everything, every hazard inside the gym, so
Yeah.
you know what you can do if it's actually occurred. So
Okay.
there's less chance that they'll get injured.
Anything else you can add to that, George?
I'd say in induction.
Right.
Because it shows how to do stuff correctly. And so people aren't being a risk to themselves and each other.